So I have a wash tub from a Whirlpool Thin Twin laundry center, probably circa 1990 or so. This came with the house that we purchased about 7-8 years ago. And it was left in the house for two reasons, I think. One being that it was kind of built into kind of auxiliary laundry space as kind of a spare wash machine. There was a door molding that prevented it from coming out. And two, it was broken. The tub was kind of hanging at a strange angle. It seemed that something, I assumed there was something wrong with whatever was holding it up, suspension, but never really needed to deal with it. So I just kind of sat there for many years. And recently, for various reasons, my wife asked me, "Can you get it to work?" And I said, "Sure." So took off the moldings, pulled the thing out, pulled the wash tub off, and saw something very interesting in it, and that was the suspension, of course, had broken, and the mounts, you see them over there, they've been repaired now, but they were hanging out. They were not in the base properly, and also one of them was basically the bottom looked like it had rusted out, and it was kind of hanging there. And more interestingly, you see they're expanded right now, as they're supposed to be in their position. However, all three of them had this band over here around the middle, which kind of, they were compressed and it was locked, and there was this key in them connected to this string. And I looked at that and I said, that seems to be some sort of a shipping lock or something. And they don't look like they're open, even though one of them had sprung open because the bottom had broken. And as I dug into this more, found something even more interesting, and that was where these connect to the tub. Over here, you see over here how there's supposed to be a hole over there. One of them, the entire mount had ripped out. You can see over here is the piece that was remaining with that over there. It just tore the metal completely. And after a little more investigation, kind of what happened, it became pretty obvious, is that the suspension was never released. All three suspension supports were locked down with that ring, and the keys were never pulled out. I don't know if that was supposed to happen on installation or on the assembly line, but they were never released. So effectively, the entire tub was rigidly mounted to the frame, and the machine apparently tore itself apart over however many years it had been used. Two of these three, there's a small metal ring that goes and is welded on the bottom of the base over there where those things screw into. Two of the three of those were torn out. Basically, it gets completely ripped out. As I said, the third one over there, the base was kind of broken at the bottom. And again, more importantly, this one over here was completely torn out, just ripped the metal to shreds. And hence the whole tub was kind of, sitting down at an angle. So being a 30-year-old machine, it's not really worth putting much money into this thing, especially since who knows what else is wrong with it. But I wanted to see what we could do to fix it. So kind of the base over there just released all three of them. Now they're all sitting up like they're supposed to. For the ones that had the rings knocked out, they have now bolts, nuts on the bottom, and some Loctite, which hopefully will hold. The one of these over here that has the bottom cut out went and put a piece of sheet metal around there to try to grab it and hold it in. Hopefully that will work there well enough. And then more importantly, over here is what we're going to do about this missing part over here, which is the real problem. What we did is we went in the garage and fabricated up out of a piece of stainless steel sheet metal a little repair piece over here. So there happens to be another hole in there on the bottom, in the back, you can see that. So this slips in here. That will screw in over there. The mount will go over there, and then I'm gonna put a rivet over there and tie that in there. And finally, got a big washer, fender washer that had been modified a little bit. Will go in the bottom, and the mount will go through that. It will sandwich the whole thing together, and hopefully that will hold it up. So I'm gonna put it back together now, and we'll see what happens, if this unit actually works. So here we are with the tub back together. Seems to be working okay, I think. It's a little, I don't know if those the legs are too dead or what, but those springs might be overly sprung. But we'll put it back together and see what happens.
See the washer dryer installed back in its little corner.
And as you can see, if we turn it on spin cycle, seems to work. So I think we got everything working well enough. See, it's a little off center, but it's good enough for our needs. Probably we could fix that. Probably the platform's bent a little bit, so that could be fixed. But again, good enough for our needs. Total price of the repair was about $1.78 in nuts and bolts. So we'll put this one in the win category and move on.